But for far too long, I've been letting the AI art engines dictate at least a little bit of the comic story I was writing. Let's face it, it's easier just to go into Midjourney, generate a bunch of images around a theme, an idea, or a character, and then pick the ones you want and try to build a story around that. Well, I say no more, at least not for this video. After this video, it's anybody's guess what I will do. But today I decided I'm going to be in charge, and so I sat down, and not only did I write the whole comic thing myself and not even look at the AI art first, I came up with the hardest panels I could think of for AI art to generate. Greetings, my name is Aaron, and this is Camp Peculiar, a channel dedicated to visual storytelling using AI art. All right, so we are going to do a standard comic book page today, 11 by 17. I crammed 13 panels in there, and I tried to make all of those 13 panels challenging for AI art in some way. So what I thought we would do is go panel by panel. I'll show you what I sketched out and then talk about the process of generating the art for that particular panel, how difficult it was. I'm going to give it a grade too. And I thought the grading system that I would use would be a ski resort. It's raining outside right now, means it's probably snowing up in the mountains. So I thought we would go with a skiing rating of difficulty. Green circle is an easy AI art sort of feat or thing to accomplish. A blue square is intermediate. It's a little more challenging to do with AI art. And then you got your black diamond. That's like expert. That's like advanced, and the rare but not unheard of to put right under the ski lift so that everybody can watch you fall, double black diamond. All right, let's dive in and take a look at what I'm dubbing the hardest one-page comic AI has had to generate so far. It's not a bad title. Let's take a look. So I just went through here and laid out way too many panels for a one-page comic. This is realistically probably 3 or 4 pages all shoved onto a page. We're going to start with somebody sort of asleep in bed, and then there's like an alarm clock over to the right, and then that alarm clock's going to change time, and then he's going to reach over, or she's going to reach over and smash that alarm clock, and then kind of still be, sleeping or thinking was kind of the idea. Then the person, is sitting on the side of the bed, so we have a perspective change. So it's the same room, same environment. It's got to be the same bed. And then they're standing up and walking. So same character standing up, walking towards a room. Then I thought we'd have a lot of fun, and we would actually put the character in the bathroom, looking at themselves in the mirror. So like a silhouetted over the shoulder, looking at them in the mirror, brushing their teeth, which might be actually the hardest AI art comic prompt that you can have. Looking over a character's shoulder in the mirror while they brush their teeth. And then we'll do a close-up of them brushing their teeth, going into a closet, getting some clothes, putting on a suit or some sort of business attire, go out and wait for the elevator. That's it. It's a getting up sequence. So step 2, I opened Photoshop and created some vector sort of panels here that I could move around easily, and then kind of roughed in those ideas using just the brush tool. So there you go. That's what I'm considering the hardest comic for AI art to draw. Let's see how it went. We'll go ahead and bring up the first image over the bed there. So we ended up with a guy sleeping, and I'll be honest with you, I made him, I did bald-headed guy, or a guy with a bald head, so I didn't have to worry about drifting hair color, drifting hair length, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I was like, I'm already doing some challenging stuff. Let's make this guy bald to try to make that easier. A couple things that were difficult here. I'm using midjourney 4, which at the current time can only do squares, so getting a rectangular image like this is not possible. Also, the square aspect ratio sort of shrunk everything down. So my workflow for this image, because of the square problems, was to just generate a bunch of stuff till I got a room that I liked, and then I took that image into dall-e, and then I used dall-e's canvas editing frame extension stuff to extend the bedroom, and then in Photoshop I did some cleanup work to add the hardwood floors, or make the hardwood floors come down. So 3 different processes to get what I'm calling a blue square or black diamond frame, generated in Midjourney, extend the canvas in dall-e, and then generate, a sleeping head until I get something that I like, and then cut it out and put there. Next up, we have the 2 alarm clocks switching from 5:29 to 5:30. Midjourney was able to give both of these. It always wants to start off with the antique sort of like analog alarm clock with the bells on it and make it much more elaborate than it really needs to be. But once I put in just digital alarm clock, that was as easy as it was. The time wasn't on there, so I added that in Photoshop afterwards. So now I think a solid black diamond, which is him turning the alarm clock off, smashing it with his hand. That was this sort of frame here. So this panel is constructed from this alarm clock brought in here, and then this hand was really hard to generate. And the way that I ended up getting it was searching for hand positions that have nothing to do with sleeping or hitting an alarm clock. I did like catching a football, reaching towards something. I'm giving that a black diamond. Next up, we have a blue square, I guess, getting a guy sleeping in bed underneath the covers. That's not what this is a picture of. It's just a picture of a guy with his eyes closed, and it's the same picture as panel 1, just shrunken down in panel 1. And it's an important picture because it sets the tone of what your character is going to look like for the rest of the page, and you'll see we get some model drift in here that's pretty bad. But this face is, it's not detailed. It is a pretty simple face, but it's detailed enough where Midjourney over the course of 13 panels is going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble keeping it on model and keeping those edges and all that kind of stuff. The next panel is this guy supposed to be sitting on the side of the bed, just like a normal sitting, just right after you've gotten up, you're sort of got your hands and your palms on the side of the bed and you're thinking about getting out of bed, but you're also thinking like, why do my feet hurt? My feet shouldn't hurt. I haven't been walking all night, so why do my feet hurt? And then you stand up and you're like, all right, it seems like it's going away. That's what this panel is supposed to be, of him sitting on the bed with just the end of the bed shown there. Really hard, black diamond for sure to generate that particular image. The problems with it are many. One is it's really hard to get somebody sitting on a bed facing the camera with their legs kind of draped over, barefoot on the floor. The bare feet thing presents a problem. The position presents a problem. The camera angle presents a problem. Getting the model that you want in there presents a problem. So then I abandoned the idea of having him sitting on a bed altogether. I'm like, I'll do that in Photoshop. And I just started thinking like, how can I get him in a position where he just looks like he's sitting on a bed? And so I tried like couch. I was sure couch was going to be it. Like couch is, perfect. It's squishy like a bed. But then Midjourney was doing this thing where it was making all the couches like 1 inch off the ground. So he was still in this very odd position. And then I tried bar stool, which always put like a cafe table in front of him. So I tried no table. I tried chairs. So there you go. This panel, definitely a black diamond, and it is 2 different images. The bedroom and the character are separate, and they don't like the tone of them don't match very well either. So then we have him walking to the bathroom, and initially this was supposed to be just a side profile shot. And I think that would have been kind of a blue intermediate, a blue square thing to get the side panel shot. But in my very initial prompting with this, I just got a bunch of these over the shoulder, which with this thing that looks like a bathroom. And I decided that is probably a better shot than just a side profile walking in a room, like where you don't know where he's going. But it did present a better suggestion to me, which I took. Next up was the brushing the teeth sequence. I mean, really, it was kind of a blue square, but it's only a blue square because I sort of abandoned the actual shots that I was looking for. Getting the character looking like they're brushing their teeth over the shoulder, plus the same pose in the mirror, is a double black diamond for sure. Midjourney, which it's like to its credit, I guess, or it's at least interesting, it almost always treats that as like some kind of artistic prompt. It's like, what do we think about ourselves when we look in the mirror? Like, I look in the mirror brushing my teeth, but I see a man who's been beaten down by the grind of every day. Like, there was always some kind of like artistic thing that I'm like, no, I want an actual mirror reflection of whatever's going on. And so you can see even what we ended up using, not a mirror reflection. This guy's got his hand up and the other guy doesn't have his hand up. But I like the sink in the lower left-hand corner. I was hoping that was sold it. This guy's looks like he's rubbing a marshmallow on his chin, which is how they do brush their teeth in a lot of summer camp cultures, of which I'm an expert. But it's really hard. I'm taking it as like foam, or I'm hoping it reads as like, as like toothpaste foam or whatever. So it wasn't hard to get a general idea and then crop in and sort of make something believable. But I'm not sure, like, is this like the beginning of the day of clown school? Or he's getting ready to shave his head and shave hair, and this is shaving cream. Again, this is the thing with AI art, it is unclear, and you're hoping there's enough sort of like immediate mental connection that somebody draws the connection to what's going on. Then our character enters the wardrobe, still in the white shirt. The sleeves here got a little bit different colored. And this is actually sort of an easy transition because we get to get our character in a new suit. So just a bald head guy in a suit prompt, whatever you get is what'll get the job done there. So him leaving the closet or leaving the apartment or whatever's happening in this panel, definitely green circle. The closet, there were a lot of options for that. This wasn't the only one. The eyes are the eyes of the character brushing their teeth with the marshmallow. So I put those eyes over the top just to sort of like prevent the model creep that was happening here. So I don't know, blue square, green circle sort of frames. Pushing the button for the elevator, the 12th panel here. I'm going to give it a blue square, I think. There are lots of options for a hand pushing something, straight on like that. Like that doesn't seem difficult to capture, but what the button is and does it reflect like the building this character is in and the elevator that he would likely to be used. I mean, this looks as much like he's pressing an intercom button as anything else. I think we all see the sort of rectangular panel with the two very the circles on top of each other elevator button. And when it's really important that shape that we all sort of know that are elevator buttons, this is sort of where AI art, where you have challenges with it, is you can get a character pressing a button, but to make sure that the viewer of your comic knows that he's waiting for an elevator, it's really important to get those two buttons stacked on top of each other, and that was difficult. Last and not least, a green circle. Lots of options now for the backside of or watching a bald head guy leave a building or the backside of or something like that. Pretty easy green circle prompt. The last thing I did was duplicate the image layer there that has all the images and then put sort of a color treatment on them or like color grading on top of them to have it sort of move from him early morning and then into the closet. And then as he's sort of leaving, the tone of the image has changed as we get set up for the next page where he would, run into some shenanigans in the lobby of this apartment that he lives in. So there you go. That's my take on the hardest one-page comic for AI art to generate. If you would have approached some of the prompts differently, let me know in the comments below or let me know what you're working on. Just say hi. Also, if you like this sort of thing and you're interested in visual storytelling, give this channel a subscribe and give this video a like. I'm not sure how it helps, but apparently it does, and so it's something I think that you should do. And then I will see you next time on Camp Peculiar.